Imagine being an undergraduate student at a rapidly developing IIM studying everything from psychology and accountancy to performing arts and computational thinking, living in the beautiful city of Jammu. Let's not talk about our occasional Saturday and Sunday classes, but that is the experience of pursuing IPM at IIM Jammu. Hi, I'm Avishi. I'm a first year IPM student at IIM Jammu, and today I'm going to help you with your JIPMAT preparation because JIPMAT is in just over a month. Let's discuss an overview of the exam first, and then we'll get into my journey, how was my exam experience, and how much I actually got in the exam. So about the JIPMAT exam, there are 3 sections: quantitative aptitude, data interpretation and logical reasoning, and the third section is verbal ability and reading comprehension. There are a total of 100 questions. There's plus 4 marks for correct answers and minus 1 for an incorrect answer. The exam duration is 150 minutes, so 2 hours 30 minutes. This is the syllabus of the JIPMAT exam. So the JIPMAT exam doesn't focus a lot on higher mathematics and 11th, 12th grade mathematics. So the JIPMAT exam largely focuses on algebra, arithmetic, geometry, modern mathematics, and number systems. That is the quantitative aptitude syllabus. So you don't have to get into higher mathematics at all. You don't have to do things like logarithm, trigonometry, all of the things that you wouldn't understand if you didn't take maths in 11th and 12th, just like me. I'm going to put a link for this document in the description, which has the entire syllabus. For VA, there's mainly grammar, vocabulary. That's where questions have come from in the past years. With logical reasoning, most of the questions come from topics like logical sequence, puzzles, analogy, coding, decoding, and arrangements. So I found out about the IPMAT and JIPMAT exam in the 8th grade when my mom told me about it. She saw an ad for it in the newspaper, and I felt like this is the kind of course that I want to pursue in undergrad. I started preparing in 11th grade, but I barely did anything. I enrolled in an offline coaching institute and I literally never went to class. I started properly preparing in the 12th grade, and especially during my summer break is when I actually properly invested time into my IPMAT preparation. I stopped preparing around like November, December 2023 because we had exams in Feb 24, like board exams. I was mainly focusing on my board exam preparation, and after that I got back to IPMAT, which is, I think, like a pretty good time scheduling strategy to use, because if you don't spend enough time on your boards preparation, then you won't get good marks in boards. That'll really mess up your CUET preparation also, if that is a goal that you have. Personally, I did register for CUET, but I didn't even take the exam, so that was probably a very bad decision on my end. Don't do that. Also, at some point in my preparation, I actually entirely gave up on the idea of pursuing the IPMAT Indore exam, because I was like, I am fundamentally incapable of cracking this exam because I suck at maths, and I don't have maths in 11th. I didn't have maths in 11th and 12th, so there is no way I'll be able to figure out these higher maths topics. Please don't do this, because all of these topics are very much figure outable if you like dedicate a little bit of time to them, apart from strengthening the topics that you already understand, that you've been doing for many years in school. And honestly, stuff like logarithms is so easy and such an easy way to get marks in the exam. Let me show you a snapshot of my actual preparation progress, and you can see this through all of my afterboards mocks. Okay, so here I'm on the analysis page of the website, and I'm going to go to JIPMAT. So here, let me select all of my JIPMAT mocks. I took 11 JIPMAT mocks on afterboards. So something that I did was, in like the last week before my IPMAT and JIPMAT exams, I would go back and look at all of the questions that I've gotten wrong during using their analysis feature, and then I would redo all of the questions that I'd gotten wrong, or just go through the solution if I was able to comprehend it just through the solution. Okay, so from this page you can see how much my marks have varied with all of the mocks that I have taken just for JIPMAT particularly. So the first mock I took, which was the past year question paper of 2022, I got 329 on 400. The last mock I took, I got 307 on 400. So as you can see, you're not going to get consistent marks in every single mock. It's going to vary a lot depending on the difficulty level, depending on how prepared you were that day, and how much of your preparation you could give to that paper. Mock marks don't actually determine how much you'll end up getting in the actual paper, as you'll see when I show you my actual score in the JIPMAT exam. So something I try to do was always to focus on my strengths rather than my weaknesses, because it's very difficult to fill that gap of understanding you have with a particular topic instead of just focusing on what you're already good at and strengthening that even more. It's better to be in a position where you can answer any number systems questions that is thrown your way instead of being dicey about whether or not you can answer a particular question on trigonometry, for example. In that last phase of preparation, or if you have just started preparing very close to the actual exam, I don't think it's a very good idea to get into topics that you are not very likely to understand completely in its entirety. If you have taken maths in 11th and 12th, it will give you a really solid base of at least knowing what things mean. Like when I started preparing, I didn't even know what log means. So you can still build on that very easily. The Afterboards site, let me show you some really useful resources on Afterboards, both free and paid resources, because Afterboards is something I personally used while I was preparing. So that's why I would 100% recommend it to you guys. And it's gotten so much better since I was preparing for my JIPMAT and IPMAT exam. They're always coming out with new features, and it's always so cool. Every single time I come back to the website, there's something new that they've been working on, something new they've come out with. And what I find really helpful is the daily reading comprehension feature. Give you a bunch of articles every single day from different domains, and then you can attempt questions on them, as well as also write your own summary of what you have read. This is a free feature, and I would 100% recommend you to use this feature even if you don't want to purchase their course. When I saw this, I was like, honestly, I also want to start doing this because it's so interesting. Even though I'm not preparing for JIPMAT or IPMAT, the articles are really interesting. They're very thought-provoking. You'd actually want to read them. You can select any word and then click on define. It'll give you a definition and it'll give you synonyms. All of this will get saved in a library of the words that you have defined. That's also really helpful to look back at to improve your vocabulary. Also, I would recommend to look back at the words that you have defined again and again and try to use them in conversation. Try to use them when you're writing the summaries of the passages, so you actually remember the words and they're integrated into your memory properly. Another free feature they have is the past year papers. So basically they've put up the past year papers and they've put it in an MCQ format where you can actually try to attempt it on your own. So try doing that, and doing that on a platform like Afterboards is really helpful because then you can compare your progress with that of other people. So you can see how much you've scored and the person on rank 1 has scored. It'll also calculate your percentile for you, which ultimately determines whether you get admission or not. Honestly, if you're starting your IBMAT preparation right now, first step you should take should be to try to solve past year papers. Don't take it very seriously. Don't be too hard on yourself with your first mock. Just do it to get an understanding of what you're good at, what you're bad at, also where you lie with the competition. Once you started doing mocks, to get good at specific topics, try to do topic tests and sectional tests. Afterboards, for example, has unlimited sectionals. I feel like it's much better to understand topics through doing questions and reading their solutions instead of trying to understand it theoretically first. Of course, you can understand the theory part later, but if you do questions, the rate of understanding will be a lot greater if you just try to solve questions first. Then you can watch videos on the topic. So for example, Afterboards has also come out with videos. You can also find a lot of resources on YouTube for free. CAT preparation channels will also explain topics really well. After you've done a few mocks and a few tests, it's important to go back and analyze your performance. So if you can do this on your own, or if you use this platform, it'll do it for you, but you can do this on your own too. Try to see how much time you're spending on every single section. For example, in JIPMAT Mock 11, you can see that I spent 41% of my exam time on LR, 51% on QA, and 6% on VA. Because I know that VA is my strength. For me, VA won't take a lot of time. That's why I spent the least amount of time on VA. So try to smartly utilize the time that you have, especially with an exam like JIPMAT and I think IPMAT Rohtak also, where they don't have sectional timers. So use that to your advantage. With any mock platform that you use, you can see your marks in each section compared to the person who scored the highest. Marks the students will get will be projected on a normal distribution to figure out the percentile, figure out the people who have gotten the highest percentiles and who are going to go further into the interview process or make it and get the admission offer. There's an example of that here with every single mock on Afterboards. You can see the peak here is at somewhere between 240 and 270 marks, which is coming out to be 67.3 percentile. So you have to aim to be as far away from the peak as possible towards the right side. You can see I have gotten 300 something, and I'm at the 97th percentile. Also, your accuracy is something that's very important to look at. If you're attempting too many questions that you're getting wrong, you need to work on that. You need to only attempt the questions that you're getting right and take fewer risks. But also, if you're attempting very little questions, you need to attempt more questions. Do a lot of mocks, but don't take your scores too seriously. Just do your best in every single mock and do as many as possible. Revise them as many times as possible. Because, like, as you can see, no matter how well you're scoring on a certain mock, your performance might completely tank in the next mock, or you might perform exceptionally well. One mock does not determine how much you get in another, and also no mock determines how much you get in the actual exam. You have no idea what the level of difficulty will be, and you have no idea what kind of people you're competing with, which is what ultimately determines your percentile. Now, for all the Vela people on Reddit, here is my scorecard. I scored 293, which is 97.9 something percentile. You can see here how me leveraging my strength of VA helped me get a higher percentile, even though I performed terribly in DILR. I really hope this video helped you. Please stop wasting time on subreddits and actually study for IPMAT. The exam is really soon. Best of luck. I hope you do really well and get your dream college.